Hello, my name is Francis Fox. And let me introduce myself. I hope to eventually be your favorite psychic spy because I was trained to be a psychic spy in a secret government program that has still not been declassified. That I hope that under Trump it will be declassified and I will get compensated. I was actually bred for the program. Isn't that awful to say? I don't think that's hit my self esteem yet because I have so many other self esteem issues from all the abuse in the program. But that's kind of heavy duty, but it's kind of matching the stuff that's coming out in the United States having to do with a lot of people that we're seeing that maybe they're clones. I'm not sure how to explain the clone situation because it could be a name for what is a possession issue to where your spirit leaves your assemblage of bodies and another spirit comes in. You look exactly the same, except you're not really the same. But continuing introducing myself, I have a degree in political science from the University of Miami. You shouldn't go there till it gets cleaned up. Okay, the University of Miami. It's got some controls behind the scene. Or clean it up while you're there. Because we really don't have an awful lot of time. So I established a business the same year I got married. I ran it for 30 years and then I turned it over to somebody and then I sold it and it's doing even better than when I had it. I left because I was aligned with my mission. I did not know how I was going to be able to earn a living with this alternative stuff, but I simply could not continue to do something that to me didn't have the value any longer, having to do with making me feel really good about me in life. So I strongly advise you to tell God that you want to align with your mission as quickly as you can, which doesn't mean tomorrow. Your intention can be today, and then you vitalize it. The mantra is, please God help me with my intention to create a miraculously prosperous mission. You repeat it in silence, expel the breath through your mouth. What else can I tell you about me? I was born in Munich, Germany, the city where Nazism started. My mother, who I was taken away from when I was 3 months old, was German. The people that raised me, my father and his wife, were Cuban. He became a part of US military after the Second World War. That's how I ended up in Germany, or that's how I ended up being born in Germany. Interesting things because the Soviet Union, England, and the United States went into Germany after winning the war, and they basically plundered all of their research. I think they called a book that was written that, by the way, is a lot of disinformation, Operation Paperclip. How do I know that it's a lot of disinformation? Because I know. I had the fortune or misfortune to have been born very close into the people that started this program originally. Remember, I was a child, so it's not like I can give you maybe all of the information we would want for me to have to be able to put a stop to this. But look where it got me. I am now doing something that very few people can do, which is access a level of information from the other dimensions that gives you an awful lot of power. Information is everything. The Buddha said, or at least it is said that he said, that the basis for human misery is ignorance. What does that mean? Lack of information. So I decided today I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to just do a map. I did the map. We're going to go over that right now. But the map took me to what's behind me, which I'm going to move to the side for you to read. The right eye of Horus, often called the Eye of Ra, symbolizes. Actually, I have the. I'm going to tell you what it symbolizes now because I. Da, 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 da. Oh, don't tell me. Here it is. The right eye. Egyptians often wore this eye, which is the right eye of Horus, on jewelry, talismans, and amulets, believing it gave wearers the ability to repel negative energy. The Egyptian symbol appeared on funerary art and inscriptions, as Egyptians believed the Eye of Ra could protect the delicate soul on its journey into the afterlife, keeping it safe from harm, which must mean that it also is a protection as we make this frequency shift that the entire planet is into. It was foretold in the Bible, the Mayans. The violent aspects defends Ra against the agents of disorder that would threaten his rule. The eye of Ra isn't the evil eye. It can represent destruction and divine punishment, but it is a symbol of protection, power, and cosmic order. And it is often used as a protective amulet to ward off evil, ensure the triumph of good over evil. That is what is on our dollar bill. Now, that's very significant because look what it is that I sketched today. Map of the United States, probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason I'm telling you the time is because things can happen. And is today the 20th? See, I did all these things and I did not get the map up on screen. Okay, what day is today? 29th. Okay, here we go. So I'll explain to you the map and then I'll go into a lot other interesting things, including how to keep yourself looking younger. I'm telling you, this Mantrista movement, which is all about white magic, is really fascinating. I'm very happy that I started this movement and I'm very happy for the benefits of it. So here we go. Map of the United States today. You have the Eye of Ra in the middle, which is why I went to find all this information and why I use the art for this chat, which later on becomes a podcast. So in the middle of the map, you have a big eye, and it's the right eye of Horus. It's not the left eye, it's the right eye, which symbolizes, as we said a moment ago, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Oh yeah. Symbolizes protection, healing, and the power to overcome evil. What is the evil we're trying to overcome now? Sex trafficking, control of people through black magic and through blackmail, being controlled by unseen forces, by people who know how to hide their hand in the other dimensions. And this is all happening under Trump. Now, you could say, oh, you're just in love with Trump. I am in love with what he's doing. I was not in love when he first came out against the immigrants and immigration. Well, it turns out that even the immigrants are saying, you can't have this disorder. So he was right. But now look at everything that's happening. These business meetings he's having with power players, heads of countries, is positioning us so well that it doesn't really matter what's in Fort Knox or not in Fort Knox, because in this country, everything's going to be fine in terms of business and money, which is foundational, root chakra, if there's market confidence. And there's definitely market confidence. There's really only one person we can attribute to. Again, I'm not pitching Trump. I'm not pitching Trump to you. I'm not pitching Trump. It's not my idea to make this podcast chat about Trump. When I sketch, I'm sketching the country. I'm not sketching Trump or his intentions, nor am I taking out stuff that might make things look bad. That's, again, part of my training. So here we go with the map. You have the right eye of Horus in the center, which is perfect. You have the two Merkabas, those triangles, which is Galactic Federation, protection. And then the first thing I wrote was Trump has maxed out creativity in world affairs. And I would say that most people would agree with that, even if they don't particularly care for him. Now, we do have on the lower right hand, the red scooping out, that circle, that's galactic interference. It's a cut in the energy field, which means things won't flow. So somebody has got to look into that. And of course, most of you don't accept it, are not aware of it, don't believe in it, but we really are in a major war with off-planet forces, which is the reason why it's so important to have the protection of the Galactic Federation. Then we have the triangles in the Gulf of America, which is another stabilizing factor. And then the orange spiral is counterclockwise, which means grounding, and it's orange, which is sexuality, creativity, manifestation. That's one more thing I always forget. Very important. That in your body is 2 inches below your belly button. So if you're having problems sexually, or you're having problems manifesting, or you're having problems in creativity, all day long, breathe into 2 inches below your belly button and use this mudra, the two center fingers touching the thumb, and breathe and see how, I'm trying to see how you could see this see how your breath changes, and see how I'm speaking slower and my voice is more feminine. This helps you also to hear better. So teach it to your kids. And if you're going to take a test, teach it to your kids. They can have the pencil or whatever it is, and take the test, whatever. But my breath is changing. Now, this part of me is all blue. This is really good. So I'm not sure I even have any notes about today. I was so excited with the right eye of Horus. And there's been so much complaining about or distrust of that eye on the dollar bill. So let me go ahead and explain it. That eye is on top of a triangle with the apex pointed up. What does that mean? It represents the 3 lower energy centers of human beings, which is your solar plexus, which channels personal power, the next center, 2 inches below your belly button, which is sensuality, sexuality, manifestation, sacred, and then the bottom one, which is root chakra. That triangle represents that, which is all the stuff on the physical dimension having to do with your life being in order, and the physical dimension being able to pay your bills, protection, the whole 9 yards. Then you have the right eye of Horus, which again symbolizes protection, healing, and the power to overcome evil. Isn't that good? It is good. And it's happening. You may not have liked Trump. You may be unhappy in a sense that it appears that he's doing stuff that is good, but it is good, and it's good for you, even if you vote for Trump. And he's really not the issue. What is the issue? Aligning yourself with frequencies that raise you above the disorder of the apocalypse and of Revelations. So let me tell you about the Mantrista movement and your face or your skin. By mistake, I bought a gallon of aloe vera gel, and I mix it. Some guru said 20 or 30 years ago that you should always have on your body a combination of 10% hydrogen peroxide, 3%, and then 90% aloe, and mix it, and then you put it on your body. It reduces fire and it takes oxygen to all of your cells. And I used that for a couple of decades. And then I stopped using it. You have to be careful. You can't put it anywhere near your hair because it will change the color. The hydrogen peroxide would change the color. But I bought this gallon bottle. And I have an Ayurvedic physician friend of mine who, by the way, doesn't believe in me at all. He's very traditional. He's Scorpio. He's from India. His name is Dr. Akhilesh Sharma. He's really good. He doesn't believe in me. But that's okay, because in the end, everything works out. But he told me when he saw me last, he said, "You're looking really good." Okay. He said, and then we had the session in which he told me what to take, not to take in terms of health. And he said you should take aloe vera every day because the process of aging is a process of dehydration. Okay, that makes sense. Everything gets smaller, means there's less liquid in there. You don't have less bones, less liquid. Okay, this was 30 years ago. No, actually, last time I saw him was probably 5 years ago. 30 years ago, he lived with me for 6 months. I learned a lot. Anyway, so I get this huge bottle of aloe vera gel and I'm trying to mix it with hydrogen peroxide. It's not working with the gel, which is fine. And then I just use it all over my body. And then I went, wait a second. The issue with your face as you age is that it gets dehydrated. And you're assuming, and it can also be the bones and holding back the rage. So, whatever. I said, maybe the aloe vera on the face is pumping up my skin on my face. I've only been using it for 3 or 4 days. And so I asked the dolphins, and they said, yes, it does. Do the aloe vera because it pumps up your skin, it hydrates it, but at a very deep level, especially if you use it every day. So, another piece of magic, which basically is just revealing other dimensional stuff, which is the intention of aloe vera to reduce your fire and to keep you hydrated. So, how much is aloe vera in comparison with all the other products that I used to use? Pennies, literally pennies. Comfortable, no side effects. So, if you have parts of your skin that are defective, put it twice a day. If you mix it with the hydrogen peroxide, if you use the liquid instead of the gel, then you have to be careful not putting it near your eyebrows or your hair, whatever, because it will absolutely bleach it out. So I'm very happy about that. I will be working on the structures, which is the etheric, which you're looking at now, which is a grid, your body, but shaped like a grid in the other dimensions. And it basically is mind strings that are roped together and they create a structure, which is like your body, and your body springs from that. This etheric body, which is your Higgs body, doesn't die when you die. So if you have a big defect, a big blow, a big injury this lifetime, it will register there. Your physical body returns to dust, doesn't register anything in terms of moving forward. But your Higgs field body does, your Higgs body. So taking care of this is very important. And I am going to be working on my face and my chin because I am not happy. Just the fact that throughout history, people have had really unattractive chins and really unattractive mouths doesn't mean that we can't use magic to change that. No, I'm not talking about a ritual. I'm talking about finding out stuff in the other dimension, which in this case, is the Higgs field body getting smaller because you're clenching your teeth because you're so angry and you're not allowed to express it. Now, yesterday I talked about the Higgs body having to do with blows to the head and how it changes people's personality and it opens portals. So we already know a little bit more about the Higgs field. And this is the kind of stuff that I really enjoy sharing and that you can use immediately. The Higgs field, by the way, body, and your home's Higgs field, when it has a hole in it, it means it's haunted or it will be haunted because it's a hole and the bad spirits come in. It doesn't like fire. The only thing that will harm it is fire, which is what's radiating from all of your devices. But we have frequency music. I should change the title to frequency music, even though it is frequency, but maybe that'll make it more catchy. We have mantrista music videos that have the frequencies that correct the microwave fire radiating frequencies that is making a lot of us brain dead and massively depressed and violent. So you can use that music. It's free. It's on my YouTube channel. So I didn't take notes for today. I was too happy about the left eye of Horus. So when you see the right eye of Horus, when you see somebody's right eye limping, Like you see them all the time, your child, your mate, somebody who works with you, and all of a sudden they have something in their right eye. It means they're having troubles, big troubles on the physical dimension, having to do with security, safety, and paying their bills. Maybe there's no issue with paying their bills, but yes, issues of security and safety. Right eye of Horus, they need protection. And there you have the amulet with the eye that protects. That woke up and is now a protection of, it's a protective force, spiritual force of the United States of America. Now, did I ever think I would be saying something this nice to a government that basically, I'm not even going to say the things that they did, but they're unspeakable? No, I didn't. But I am an information expert and I have to give what I get when I sketch or when I get it psychically. I am not supposed to, and I'm not going to give you what I want to give you, but what is a sketch, which is why I always start this with a sketch. And I try not to do it in the morning or the night before because things happen and energy changes really quickly. In the physical dimension, it takes longer. What I'm sketching is in the other dimensions, it's what's coming up. Your destiny, your reality, the issues you're going to have are in the other dimensions. When you work with an alternative medical person, somebody that works in alternative, and they're telling you something, such as me telling so many people 10, 20 years ago, you're going to have cancer in 2 years if you don't make a change, it's because that person already has cancer in the other dimensions. But they have time to change it because the physical dimension is hard to change. The other dimensions isn't. And that's why alternative medicine can be so freaky in its miraculous healings and changes in you. And I'm not sure that you're going to ever call something that is done medically to you a miracle. But you can have miracles that are so instant, such as with homeopathy, that you don't even remember how bad you were before. And you took this homeopathic remedy, and all of a sudden, you don't even remember that you had a problem. An example is shingles. Shingles is something that I feel bad when I see those ads and I see those people that so legitimately are saying, I don't want anybody to feel this pain. I know that pain. I've had shingles several times. It is definitely due to stress. And the first time I got shingles was when my son had a child. And I guess it woke up all sorts of stuff having to do with the mind control program. And this, I had a pain that was unbearable. And I have a very high threshold for pain. So I couldn't take it. I didn't know what it was. It wasn't an aspirin thing. So I called my friend who's a medical doctor, and he's a personal friend. I remember it was a Saturday night, and I said, "Listen, I'm so sorry. I've never done this before. I can't take this pain. I don't know what to do." Everybody knows I I don't go to doctors. He was a um, osteopathic doctor. I don't go to doctors. I don't go to hospitals. I don't take medication. And for those people who would like it, like Facebook now has something when I get on my personal page, it says, "Are you suicidal?" No, I'm not. Um, it's a setup. I have people that would like for me to be like mentally ill because apparently they can claim a whole ton of money that's mine if I'm mentally ill. Well, to be mentally ill, you have to do stuff and the police have to show up. Never had that. And you have to maybe not pay your bills and do stuff to other people and just kind of be a whatever. Don't have any of that. But now Facebook says, "Are you suicidal?" It's all a setup. Anyway, so I called the doctor and I said, I can't take this. He said, "I'll meet you tomorrow morning." I said, "My God, it's Sunday. Don't worry about it." So I showed up, asked me the symptoms. I didn't have anything on my skin because I was putting flower essences on my skin. And then he said to me, "Okay, take this." The little thing with little white pills, sugar pills in them. And I said, "What's that?" "Homeopathy." "Okay. So what do I have? Am I dying? What is it?" "No, no, no, no. You're not dying. Just take those and you're gone." And he wanted to run out the door. It was Sunday morning. I said, "No, I think I feel like I'm dying. I'm really good with pain. I can't take this. What do I have? You have shingles. Okay. So I walked out with my little thing. I took them and then I went home and I looked up shingles on Google. Oh my God, those people, their skin, the eruptions. Oh my God. And I can understand the people running ads saying I don't want anybody to feel this pain. I don't want anybody to feel that pain. So I looked it up. Okay. Shingles. Oh my God, this is scary. Then I looked up shingles homeopathy and it gave me the name of the remedy, which is called Rhus Tox, Rhustox. And it said, just take this. No pictures of skin that looks like they have leprosy, no people of the level of pain, nothing. Just take this. Now, in other illnesses, you look up homeopathy and they talk about the different symptoms. In shingles, I just said, just take this. The pain went away. And I've had shingles since then 4 or 5 times when I'm in extreme stress. You know my life, so you know how difficult it is. Takes care of it in the other dimensions. I really suggest you look into that. You shouldn't do anything I say without looking into that. But there's 5,000 years of evidence on homeopathy. And there's no side effects. You can take regular medication and take homeopathy. And but it's inexpensive. That little vial is like $12. I had a friend who had shingles, but in her eye, near her eye, she dealt with it for 6 months. She had skin issues. Last time I talked, she had to have a surgery to kind of repair a little bit of the mess. And I begged her, just take this together with the medication. No, no, no. Okay. That is an addiction to authority in a planet and in a country that is addicted to authority figures and has eliminated their ability to observe and to think independently. But this is 5,000 years homeopathy. This is not new. I'm not introducing something new. I'm just giving you an example of stuff and opening a door for you to start exploring the other dimensions more because whatever condition you have, it started out in the other dimensions. Continuing on with the issue of health, mental well being. If you have addictions, if you have an issue of violence, if you are bipolar, this part, left side of your head, behind and above the left ear, there is a portal that's called the Rudra. Not easy to, I'll write it down. Rudra portal. It's called chakra. It's a chakra. It turns out there's also a god associated with it. He's the god of, I think, chaos, but it makes sense because when that portal, the Rudra chakra, is blown open, you get chaos. So now it's making sense to me. I just found that 2 days ago. Your life becomes disordered, as in addictions. Doesn't matter whether it's sex or it's alcohol or it's drugs. When you close that portal, it's like magic. White magic. I told you we're going to teach you white magic and you're going to teach other people and you're going to go, oh my God. Because a lot of people know about black magic. It's been used on this country and across the world on countries. It's not just this country. In this country, I'm just associating it 1000% with all of the sex trafficking and all these people that are involved. Okay, so when you close that portal, which I can do easily, and I don't think that too many people are going to be able to do it easily, but enough of them are going to be able to do it. When you close that portal on the left side of the head, it's instant because that is a door. Portals are doors, they're holes. And what comes in? Not Jesus Christ, not the Virgin Mary, not angels, not your spirit guides. What comes in is only the unethical bad spirits. And then you get the disorder. I can close it easily. Now, I tried to teach a lot of my followers, and it just kind of, and I suspect we had spirit interference. But I'm going to have to go back to teaching it again because, as a matter of fact, when you look up the Rudra, you probably will run into what I have written about it, because until recently there was basically nothing about it that was of any operational use. It was information. Um, but all of the workshops that I give, the first thing that I do, it doesn't matter if the workshop is about sex, if it's about the channeling of your mission and your coccyx, or it's about your prosperity, the first thing I do is to close that portal. And people go, I have people that go, my husband stopped drinking. The husband, by the way, didn't go to the workshops. The wife went to the workshop, paid for her, or just paid for the husband. She showed up or didn't show up. Her intention was that he receive the healings that I was giving. And my intention is that whoever pays for the workshop receives the healing. They don't have to be there. They don't even have to find out about it. But I have had people come back and say, oh my God, that was such a great workshop. And I say it, I think the most important thing I did was to close this. It's like closing the door to the devil. But it's that particular door, because as I said yesterday, you can have an injury, a blow due to a football game, whatever, hit your head, car accident. Your life will shift after that. Um, and it's in another part of the head, but it's the same thing. I haven't done the studies to be able to tell you how different it is for what side of the head. I have not done that. I don't have the time. I don't have the help. I haven't done it, but that should be done. But the person that knows how to close this can close the other ones. It's you work from within. By the way, try it now. I have to find you the name of the superpower where you can make yourself very tiny, because that's the superpower you use, which is just an intention. You go inside your head and you handle your head is supposed to be smooth. You're inside. If you have a problem, there's going to be a dent or there's going to be an opening. In terms of the opening, I'm not sure what you should do, but in terms of the dent, you handle it just like they handle it when you take your car to the body shop and somebody hit your car and the door is pushed in. They go inside with a rubber hammer and they hit it until they push it back out again. It's exactly what you do, which is what I'm going to start doing with this part of me. This has got to come out. Not happy with my face. Oh, you look great for your age. I don't care. I believe in magic. I'm not happy with my face. I'm not doing surgery. When I started with my group, I said to them, you see this? I'm going to take care of it. This is evidence of stuff I've been through. And yes, I need to take care of the traumas, whatever, but I'm not doing surgery and I am going to take care. This is like 50% better. It's still not good. So there's still stuff I haven't dealt with. But then there's the extra skin. We're going to be able to take care of it. Follow us or just come and visit us every once in a while. Once we get it up properly on a website, when I'm able to get enough help and to do things systematically like everybody else, because I don't have a gazillion people that prefer I'm dead, but if I'm not going to be dead, at least they should sit on me and shadow ban me and all the rest of that. Anima is the name of it. Estela is putting it. Thank you. You visualize yourself small. That's how I found the gnomes in the coccyx. I was looking for where do we channel the energies of our mission. And then I found, and I sketched a couple of people in the class, and it was in the bottom part of the body, the coccyx. Oh, what the hell? I know what that is, but it turns out that it's known that your reason for being is in the coccyx. How many people know that? So, being it that I'm ADD and I'm very stressed, even though I'm really happy today, I'm just going to switch subjects, which all ADD people do. I just said coccyx, so I don't have to continue on that vein. I can go any place I want because this is my chat and podcast. So the coccyx, when I became little, which is automatic, And I went there. I saw staring up at me all these little gnomes, Gnomes. I've talked about them before, but this is like really important with what's happening in the United States today, having to do with all these people that have behaved like they're so sick. You can mind control people through the coccyx. Actually, you can clear everything because I've done it. 7 chakras at the top, they still got you because they have hooked to your coccyx. So, in terms of mind control and incredible level of perversion, cults, and all the rest of that, the place that should be looked at first so that the person can exercise their free will is the coccyx. Now, I just thought, free will, if you have this portal open and you're an alcoholic or a sex addict or whatever, you basically lost your free will. Do the spirits that enter here go to the coccyx? I don't know. But I'm going to be doing a lot more work with that. The other day, I gave you a healing on your coccyx, those that were with me several days ago. And I checked it, and it part of the coccyx was Nile green, which is the color of healing. So that is a superpower that I have because I had an intention 30 years ago to be able to heal hundreds of people at a time. And I didn't even need to see them. So you can do that also. It's all intention. And then you need a little bit of intention creates reality. It's all starts and ends with intention. But there are levels and there's information. So when, yes, you can just sit someplace and have an intention and make things happen in the other dimensions. But there's processes that will make it more intense, deeper, faster, whatever. And that's why they use rituals, because it keeps your focus on that in which you're intending. The kind of stuff that I do, I do not like rituals. Don't like them. I don't care who's giving them. I don't care if it's a Catholic church. I don't care who's doing the ritual. I don't like them. Obviously, I must have had some. Actually, obviously, no. I had bad experiences with rituals. So, um, I think that I have said that I don't have notes. Let me see if there was. Oh, so I'm outside on the trunk of a tree, which I can do, because you can't see me. Now that I said it, I probably screwed myself up. And this afternoon, I could tell. Where's my dog? My little one. Okay, sir. My little one gets very nervous before this chat. And then I finally realized that somebody does black magic for this chat not to work, for there not to be enough people. And he was running in circles right before this. Darn, I lost my train of thought. There was something I wanted to tell you. Okay, so I'm sitting and I'm doing mantras, and I realized that today my handler, who's apparently still alive, was trying to get to me to whatever. And I'm sitting there, crouched, uh, with my back on the roots of a coconut tree. And I went, Mickey Mouse, gnomes. Now, the main figure in mind control, man, if I don't get my head cut off on this one, they're never going to cut it off. Mickey Mouse is the main figure used in mind control, having to do with the military mind control, where they got the people as children. And what is Mickey Mouse? A ditzy little mouse. And I thought, is Mickey Mouse somehow associated with the gnomes, who are associated with rooting and grounding and those powers? I suspect they are. I suspect that Mickey Mouse is the symbol, which would be a whole batch of programming, is attached to your coccyx. So going after, and if somebody is controlling you, that's mind control, but not just like somebody who beats you up and then you say yes to everything they say, or ask for, but the type of mind control that I was in, which was the most whatever. I think they perfected other things They perfected other things after that where they didn't have to have your body like they had mine and other kids because our parents were military or close to military. But I think that the whole coccyx issue, the whole coccyx energy of grounding, which when you have mind control, you're not grounded. That's the whole point. I think that cutting the mind strings from the people that are mind controlling you from the coccyx, because they implant them all over your body, I think those are the ones that are the most controlling. And I wonder if the Mickey Mouse symbol has to do with those gnomes. But I will find out more about that later. Um, where was I going to go after this? Probably to end this because I've already talked for 40 minutes and it feels like it's 3, and I feel like I'm in a race to get all this information. And I promised that I would make this much shorter, and I was not able to do that. I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and do a mantra. Um, all of that stuff needs to be known by whoever is going to be taking care of the mental health in this country. All these things need to be known, but they all have to do with your energy systems in the other dimensions. They're not limited to the physical body. And this is why decades ago I told my daughter, if anything happens to me, you are not allowed to get me into a hospital. Unless somebody drove over me with a car and I have broken bones, at which time you're going to have to get me to an American medical person. Do not. I will never forgive you. Do not. You take me home and you call all my friends who are healers and they figure it out or they don't figure it out. I am not going to a hospital. A mind control victim in a hospital? Are you kidding me? You're turning yourself over to the enemy. So I was saying that for a reason. Medicine must include the other dimensions, and it cannot be called alternative medicine, even though if you want to play the game, you can call it alternative medicine. By the way, RFK, I think I read that he lost the quality of his voice after one vaccine. I have a feeling that I might be able to repair that, but I am certainly not going to do it without his permission, and I'm not sure that it is appropriate for me to approach him. Whatever, we'll do that. We'll look at that in the future. And I haven't looked at the vaccines because I'm afraid for Trump to lose his footing and I'm going to end there swinging in the wind because I was able to bring forth this information that you need about the other dimensions. There's stuff in those vaccines that has to do with the other dimensions that needs to be, and I'm sure can be addressed, but you can't address it from the physical dimension. So let me show you one thing. See this? I did not do that. What part of the body is this? It's a chin. And in alternative, what does this have to do with? Evil. The witches have long chins. Now, I'll tell you the good news about this. It's something coming out. It wasn't something I did to myself, and it's not something that went in. It's something that came out. And you know what mantra I'm doing that would have been the cause of that, of me releasing something from, and this is, by the way, female energy. This is male energy. So my male is very angry. And my female is in a process of healing. Isn't that interesting? You don't have to go to a medical doctor to know that. You just need to know different things having to do with all these energy bodies. It's a lot more fun. So I did the mantra for fear. I've been doing it nonstop for days. And it doesn't feel like I put a dent in it, because once you do a mantra enough and you've taken care of whatever congestion you have, then you do the mantra and you can barely say it. There's no energy to say it. I have to continue. So let's go ahead. I do have a class now in 12 minutes. We don't have time for a mantra. I think I need to get a clock here or something, or somebody has to put up a red flag so that I can understand that I have over talked. And I'm sure my family thinks I overshare. I can't do anything about it. Thank you for joining me. This is converted into a podcast in Spotify and in Apple. Francis Fox News from Other Dimensions. And we would love it if you shared it. Okay? And thank you for joining me. Bye.